在歲月如歌中找你。
Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Loomis Burkhead, and this is my review of Triumph in the Skies. Chinese New Year is a special time for Hong Kong movies. Here in Hong Kong, people like to go to the cinema during the holiday. They like to see movies filled with stars and heartwarming stories that promote family, hard work, and tradition. They also like movies with happy endings, but not that kind. The audience also likes silliness. Chinese New Year movies can get really silly sometimes, but I actually enjoy it. However, I only enjoy it during Chinese New Year. Triumph in the Skies wasn't originally supposed to be a Chinese New Year movie, but they decided to release it during Chinese New Year. And that's a good thing, because if they didn't, I might lose my mind thinking what an awful movie it was. But it's Chinese New Year! Triumph in the Skies is co-directed by Wilson Yip and Matt Chow. Wilson Yip directed the first two Ip Man movies, and Magic to Win. Matt Chow directed 2014's Golden Chickens, as well as this year's 12 Golden Ducks. He also directed PR Girls, Recognize. In theory, directors are responsible for the end result of a movie, good or bad. So, if Triumph in the Skies was a plodding, leaden display of uninteresting garbage that could only appeal to an audience willing to tolerate the reverse flow sewage pipe that is TVB, then these two people would be responsible. But it's Chinese New Year! The movie starts with a music video style montage that does absolutely nothing to establish the characters, the story, or the setting. It just looks like something that should be on TV. At least that way you could change the channel to something worth watching. But it's Chinese New Year! Of the characters who work at the airline, all the men are pilots and all the women are flight attendants. Because Chinese New Year movies like to be traditional. If it wasn't Chinese New Year, it would seem atavistic, grossly sexist, and downright insulting. But hey, it's Chinese New Year! Sammy Cheung plays a rocker woman whose fake tattoos and spikes mark her out as a dangerous rebel. She takes pills. She's so edgy and scary. She sings a rock version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So daring, so hip, so what? At another time, I might say that having Sammy Cheung hold an Eddie Van Halen guitar is the same thing as having Uma Thurman wear the Game of Death tracksuit. Laughable at best and insulting at worst. But it's Chinese New Year, which may be why it turns out that, just like all the other women in this movie, all she really wants is a man, and the lack of one is her only real problem. Speaking of real problems, whoever was responsible for the visuals in this movie needs to find an optometrist right away. Because in addition to looking like they did the color correction at Chernobyl Studios, a lot of this movie is just brutally soft focus. I thought I had a cataract. So that person, whoever it is, needs to see a doctor immediately. Well, once the holiday is over. You know, Chinese New Year! If it wasn't Chinese New Year, the plot contrivances in Triumph in the Skies would seem so lazy. I'll go where we used to go because it means so much to me. And so will she. When he's there, even though neither of them live in that city. It's just coincidence. And they meet there because the script says so. Or that's how TV dramas have to be when you've only got 23 minutes. Or it's just how TV writers write. That kind of laziness isn't pedestrian, it's paraplegic. So is dialogue like, starting from today, let me be your seatbelt. Or filmmaking so bad that I had no idea that these two seemingly minor characters were supposed to be a subplot, because they only have about 10 lines together in the whole movie. But China financing doesn't provide itself, even when it's Chinese New Year. And I know it's Chinese New Year because the end credits do feature the traditional Chinese New Year movie greetings from the cast. That's my favorite part of most Chinese New Year movies. I really sincerely enjoy it. It just makes me happy. It's also easily my favorite part of Triumph in the Skies. And not because it signaled the ending of a seemingly interminable film. No, it was because it's Chinese New Year! Triumph in the Skies isn't a comedy, but it is a constant source of laughter. Chinese New Year movies are supposed to be silly and disposable and shallow. Triumph in the Skies is a great Chinese New Year movie. If it was released any other time of year, it would be a bottomless trench of mediocrity. But it's Chinese New Year! I think it's fairly obvious that I'm not going to recommend watching this movie. Maybe if you've seen the television shows, you will get more out of it than I did. When this movie's released to disc, I'll updated in the description. Don't watch it online. Don't download it. If you enjoyed my review, please leave me a comment. If you didn't enjoy the review, leave me a comment. I apologize for my voice being so rough, but apparently I'm getting sick just in time for Chinese New Year. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoy the reviews, please subscribe. Seriously? All jokes aside, Happy Chinese New Year.